one of our absolute pieces that we're sharing with you. So it really makes it fun. Okay. So we are going to, I'm going to put my solitaire, my heart-shaped solitaire back on too, because that's going to be coming up in just a few moments, and that's been very popular. This is that earring that we previewed in the beginning of our show, and it's another one of those requests that I've worked so hard on with our buyers that we typically, if ever, have been able to do an inside-outside oval hoop earring. Yes, we've done a handful of the inside-outside hugger style absolute earrings. We had a couple of the inside-outside round-shaped hoop earrings, but very, very rarely do we offer them in the oval. And to me, that is one of the most complimentary shapes in a hoop earring, especially, and I have more of a rounded face, or if you have a heart-shaped face, or if you have, even more of a squared face. What the oval does, it's just a softer curve at the ear. So, and it works back to everyone. Sometimes if they're, too rounded, to me personally, I feel like it makes my face even look, a little fuller and rounder. That's why I prefer the oval. So if you want the inside outside, okay, well, you can do the math here. It's much, much, much more work. It's very difficult to set stones on the inner portion of any hoop, whether it be round or oval. That's why it's, expensive and hard to find in real diamonds. And that's exactly, we did all the work for you and specially priced these. They would have praised at $127. HSN price $79.95. Typically, we took $10 off. They're brand new today. They're $69.95. They're available with free shipping and handling. And we're also featuring 4 monthly flex payments. So it's basically $18, if you will, $17.50 to get these at home. Now, here's the other thing. I was really, back working with our buyers, and I said, universally, the #1 request is for a 1 to 1 1/4 inch in diameter hoop earring. So that is exactly what we custom made these oval inside outside hoop earrings to be. They're 1 1/4, like in the actual size. So they look great on everyone. This is another, perfect earring that you can live in, you can sleep in, you can wear every single day, you can shower in, you can swim in. These stones are not gonna lose their fire. And you have your joint and catch closures here, so you don't have to worry about any backings or losing any backings. And they even have on the post, and I'll show that with the vermeil, that camel style where it's just that little curve in the post. So what that does, it keeps the hoop from sliding back and forth on the ear. So it'll be at the perfect drop. And you have the believability again here, because that would equate to about a ½ carat in each one of these earrings, because we're looking at a 99 carat weight here. So almost a full carat in the total carat weight altogether. So they're believable. They're fiery. It's so hard. I mean, I could put any color. Let me just show you that, actually. Why did I just draw a blank on the name of these? Swatches. Wow. Why does that happen? Does that ever happen to you, right? Like, the easiest word in the world, swatch, Lynn. Okay, anyway. Sometimes I scare myself. But any color that you wear these with, that's the beauty of diamonds, because of the beautiful fire and the brilliance. It's always gonna work. So I can go from, the brighter colors to fall, to the beautiful soft colors to spring. Isn't that pretty? Another thing that absolute is always a great choice for is for bridal parties, for the bride. You want something that's stunning in the look of diamonds and an earring that your bridesmaids are gonna love the day, right? On the wedding wearing them, and then for years and years after it. It's not like, a wedding gift that, okay, it makes sense, it's something for the day, but then am I ever gonna really wear this again? These you do. And I say that also, depending on what you're looking for, is when you build a wardrobe, a jewelry wardrobe, you always want to drop, you want a stud, and you want a hoop. And in absolute, it makes it affordable enough that you can do all that with the look of perfect diamonds. The other earring is going to be my showstopper, which is a must, which is the lever back earring that's going to be coming up a little bit later. And I'll tell you, Should I just put these on here? Okay, you got it. I'm gonna switch into the showstopper earrings because they will, every last one of those are gonna sell out. There's not a doubt in my mind. We showed them once. Oh, you're kidding, really, Catherine? Okay, already a quarter of the quantity, I'm not surprised, quarter of the quantity that we brought in of the showstopper have already been selected. And these are very, very popular. You've been waiting. I'm so thrilled to see your response, especially with the $10